Good morning and happy Friday. Oh, I'm so excited it's Friday. We are on day 15 in the book. And if you are following along in the 5-day Evoke Devos, it is week 3, day 5. So excited that it's Friday and so excited to do today's study with you. I this this particular day is it's kind of meaty, and again, it should probably be like an entire chapter. And I know there are entire Bible studies that have been written about gender and identity, and I just want to encourage you today because I feel like I could kind of quickly rabbit hole with just my own experiences and my own opinions about things. But I think the most important thing for me that I want to really communicate to you guys today is how important it is to honor who you are, whatever that looks like. I know that there are women who feel like they're not as girly, or they're more of a tomboy, and the majority of the women I know actually think that they're not girly, and that they are more male-like. And I think that we're kind of missing the boat when we try to identify our strengths by trying to prove ourselves to be more like the opposite gender. I think it's a very interesting dynamic that we're in this culture right now, that we like feminism is all about the freedom to be, or it originated. I used to be quite the feminist. It was all about being empowered to be whoever you're called to be, and now it's become something where it just needs to look more masculine, where we're just as tough as men and we're as raw as men, and the nurturing and the parenting and the staying home, those things aren't seen as valuable, and we're kind of missing the boat. God's a God of order, and he doesn't change, and he has intentionally designed each of us very uniquely and individually. And I think it's really important that we really begin to be willing to identify our own strengths. Like I am a more nurturing person, but in a parenting role, because I have been in a position where I also have to be more of the disciplinarian, it robs me of my ability to be as nurturing as I think I was designed to be, because it's really hard to go back to being nurturing when you're the one who also dropped the bomb. And so, I think that it's really important that as Christ followers, we are intentional about recognizing who we are as individuals, and the value that we bring. Maybe in your household, it's the husband that's more nurturing, or maybe you aren't married, but maybe like if there's a grandparent that's more nurturing. As long as there's a balance, I think it's important to remember that that the reason that there's more than one type of personality and more than one skill set is because together it all works well, right? Like where I'm weak, you're strong. Where you're weak, I'm strong, and we work together. And that's the value of community, especially when you're raising children and you are developing communities, right? Like there's really nothing more valuable than making sure that you have people in your life and people in your kids' lives that really create a cohesive picture, if that makes sense. So in our journal time today, I'm really encouraging you to just kind of do a brain dump. Just write down all the things that come to mind as far like, who are you? Who are you? Like, what do you like? What are your attributes? What are your areas of strengths? What are your areas of weaknesses? What are your giftings? And really being willing to not judge them, but just write them down, and then go back and just ask the Lord, like, which of these pieces are mine, and which of these pieces are out of balance. And I know that even in my own marriage, I was thinking about it the other day, and I've always been super independent. I was the oldest child. Just the dynamic of our family growing up, I had to grow up kind of fast, and so I have a tendency to say, I got it, I'm fine. Like, no, I don't need your help. And then what happens is, then over time, I got it all the time. And then the person that I'm with is like, oh, well, she's got it, and they don't offer the help because they know I'm going to say no, and then I'm upset because they're not helping. And I think that you can apply that kind of ideology to work relationships, to friendships. The basic idea is that when we aren't completely honest with who we are and aren't fully authentic with what we need and with our blind spots and allowing other people to fill those gaps, we become incomplete and we're not able to fulfill what God has for us. So this is the prayer that I wrote in the book, and I'm just going to read it over you. And then I'm just going to pray that this weekend you would have some capacity, that you would set aside some time to just spend a little time in prayer and in meditation, and really asking the Lord to speak to you about who you are created to be. Because we're all created in His image, but we can't all be, well, we aren't God, right? So we each carry different attributes, and it's okay to own those. So if you struggle with feeling good about being a woman, if you struggle with feeling good about being a man, talk to the Lord about that, because honestly, the body that God gave you, your soul is eternal, and your soul is not a gender, right? Like, who you are at your very, very core, but God has given you certain character traits, certain body traits, certain physical traits that benefit and propel you towards who you're designed to be. And you don't have to look like the others. Like, you can be you. So, Lord God, quiet my spirit so that I can hear your voice. Give me a clear perspective of who you have created me to be. Bring me a deep appreciation for both my strengths and my weaknesses, recognizing that when I walk with you in my weaknesses, I'm strong. Lord, I ask for a vision of your plan for me in each day, in the mundane, and for the seasons to come. Let me not be bogged down by the rhetoric that reflects the momentary clamor of today, and bless me with the ability to pursue those things which are eternal, recognizing that eternity starts at this very moment. I long for a fresh perspective of the deep value in walking out the truest version of my design, and thank you in advance for lending me your eyes to see more clearly. Amen. Be blessed today. Be you today. You are perfect just the way that you are. If you have a friend you think that would enjoy this, we take the weekends off. So starting Monday, we'll be doing week 4 of the Evoke devotional, days 1 through 5. They're available on Amazon. You can just Google my name, Heather Eder, Eder. And there is a hardback book, so make sure you don't buy the book if you think you're getting the ebook. There's a hardback book that has all 5 weeks, or available on Kindle. I have each week, I have 5-day devotionals. And next week, week 4, will be free so that you can just join along. So be blessed, have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you on Monday.